I haven't played Pokemon in years, and I've wanted to build a deck for a long time, and I've wanted it to be for my now second favorite Pokemon, thanks to Walking Wake replacing Gyarados as my favorite. But Gyarados will always hold a special place in my heart. Back in the fourth generation, when Salamence was banned to Ubers, I switched over to Dragon Dance Gyarados as my main sweeper, and I fell in love with it. And ever since then, Gyarados has just it's been right there. I mean, it's been such a huge Pokemon in my heart, and it's one of the first things that I go for anytime I play one of the main games. I will find a Magikarp as quickly as I possibly can and start using Gyarados as one of my main Pokemon throughout the game. If I ever build a UU team in Scarlet, Violet, Smogon, whatever, I'll probably find some way to put Gyarados in. I love Gyarados. Still a bit salty. I know, I need to let go of things. Over the fact that it's not a water dragon and that its mega form was water dark instead of water dragon. I get why they did it. They wanted the only dragons back in the day to be the Dragonite line. But anyway, this is the first Pokemon deck that I've built since probably the early 2000s, and I'm talking like 2001, 2002 maybe. This is for expanded format. I think that all the cards in here are legal for expanded. Not completely sure on that. I'm not planning on building standard because I hate formats that rotate. If the expanded format ever rotates, I will probably quit Pokemon or find some other non-rotating format that I can play. I hate rotation. I hate that when I pour everything into a deck and then none of the cards are legal in a couple of years. I hate that. I refuse to play anything like that, because I spend so much time working on these decks. But anyway, the deck's main star here is Gyarados V and VMAX. So we're going to go through it. It is a bit of a glass cannon deck. That's kind of what I lean towards when I start building new things anyway. Yes, there is an OG computer search. I am not shelling out for the ace spec for casual games. If it gets a cheap enough reprint, then I'll get the ace spec. I have one computer search, no other ace spec cards, so I'm playing it the way it should be played. I'm just not willing to spend that much money on a card that I got for free that does the same thing. So, anyway. Gyarados V and VMAX are the stars of the show. I'm running 4V and 3VMAX, considering cutting down to 3V. The important part of this is actually Gyarados V and the Get Angry attack. You saw the Tapu Lele in the background there. Get Angry does 20 damage for each damage counter on it, and Heavy Storm is whatever. So it's 220. If all I ever have out is Gyarados V, it can do over 400 damage and then die on the next turn, of course. Gyarados VMAX has a lot more hit points. But wait, you say, you can't use the previous attacks? I do a few ways to do that. So the goal is to get one of those onto Gyarados V or get my Stadium out so that Gyarados VMAX can go in with its 100 additional hit points and just keep spamming Get Angry. Hyper Beam is also solid, getting rid of energy. It's nice, and Max Tyrant comes in handy. I mean, 240 damage is going to knock out a lot. Very much a glass cannon, because if you take this out, 3 prizes already. So, but the sheer amount of damage it can do means that it can one-hit anything in the game, to my knowledge. If I'm doing all my math and stuff right, if it's down to 10 hit points, then it's going to deal 640 with Get Angry. It will die that next turn, but it one-hits everything in the game. And that is why I love it so much. Next, for a bit of support, I have 2 Arceus V and 1 V Star. I hate when people say Arceus. I hope that's not the actual pronunciation. Arceus just sounds better to me. It's really mainly here for Trinity Charge and, Trinity Nova and Starbirth, but Trinity Charge getting the 3 water energy from my deck and putting them onto Gyarados. Pretty solid. Arceus should never be using Power Edge, and hopefully, if I do have to attack, I've got Trinity Nova up to still get energy and do 200 damage. I really do like that double demonic tutor. Just grab two things. So I think it's a solid one of. And honestly, I might go down to just one Arceus V. Of course, that it can be a problem when prizes are, involved, but it's a game of luck, and I've got other ways to do things. So I'm doing a lot of testing, and I don't know how optimal this build is. I don't know if it's even remotely feasible in any kind of expanded tournament, but I'm not planning on playing in tournaments. I wanted this for nostalgia. I picked up Chien Pao EX. Really looking forward to when we get a Walking Wake Pokemon card. Really just for Shivery Chill. I can grab 2 basic water energies once per turn. Pretty solid. Hopefully I'll never have to attack with this thing, and honestly it may end up coming out. But I picked it up because it was relatively cheap, like $6 I think, and figured I'll give it a shot. Next is Eevee and Snorlax, and I really hope that all the cards I'm playing are legal and expanded. I think they are, but if somebody who is more well-versed in expanded finds that I'm not, please say so in the comments. I've been trying to find lists to get inspiration from, and I found some Gyarados V and Arceus V-Star lists that I think were standard back in the day, and that sort of helped, but anyway. This is really here for cheer up. For 1 energy, put an energy from the hand onto a Pokemon. Pretty solid, and it's just a beefy body. And I also love that the second attack is basically dump truck ass. But I'll probably never reach that. It's really just here to help me put energy on my Pokemon. Next, I have Lumineon V, which is just here to grab a supporter. That's it. With its ability, just grab a supporter. I have Fion here for kind of a pseudo gust of wind. With Whirlpool section, I can make my opponent swap one of their Pokemon. I don't get to choose, but this does go back to the bottom of my deck. I'm not exactly sure because I see once during your turn. I don't know if I use this, then tutor it back up, if I can use it again that turn, but either way, it's a recurring recurring source of, I don't want to say removal, but interruption? No. Recurring source of bothering the opponent. We'll just go with that. Got Pyukumuku. Really just for the pitch a Pyukumuku. And again, it's another once during your turn, so I don't know if I can keep tutoring it and doing it, but it just put it on the bottom, draw a card. Oh no, this one specifically says you can't use more than 1 pitch of Pyukumuku ability per turn. So put it on the bottom, draw a card. It's just a quick draw. I'm assuming that because Fion doesn't say you can only use this once per turn, that I can just keep doing this as long as I can keep tutoring it out. But hey, I could be wrong. Radiant Greninja for that concealed cards ability. Honestly, I often find that I don't want to do that because I don't have enough energy to really discard, so this may end up coming out. Same with Chien Pao, but we'll see. Suicune V, I know, was something that people were originally running in some similar builds, and then they got rid of it for Palkia, and I'm not running any Palkia. It's here for fleet-footed. The attack is fine. It's not really there for that. It's really there just to draw cards to help get me to what I need. And last is Tapu Lele. It grabs a supporter as well, just like Lumineon, and it has an attack that's okay. I wouldn't want to use Lumineon's attack, but I can use the energy drive here. I'm not using any psychic energies, so it's just for that. The only attack I would do with Tapu Lele is that double colorless attack. As you already saw, my not ace spec computer search. I'm running 4 Shrine of Memories as my stadiums. That's all I'm running for stadiums. Each player's evolved Pokemon can use any attack from its previous evolutions. Again, very important for Gyarados V and VMAX. None of the others matter. I'm not sure why I'm doing it in this order. I always have a weird order for how I separate up my decks for these kinds of videos, as you've probably seen with Magic and Yu-Gi-Mons. Colress has been extremely helpful for getting useless cards out of my hand and drawing a new hand. Irida, whatever. Search for a water Pokemon and an item card. Works fine. Running one Marnie for more shuffling and drawing cards. I'm only running one each of the supporters because I have VS Seeker. Is it Versus Seeker or is it VS Seeker? Whatever. I've got 4 of those. Melanie, of course. Grab a water, put it on on a Pokemon. Grab a water energy from the grave or discard pile, whatever. Put it on a water Pokemon or on a Pokemon V. Jeez, and then draw 3 cards. I'm running Misty and Lorelei to grab 3 water energy. The second part of the ability is irrelevant, so it's really just there to grab 3 water energy. It's one of the weaker supporters that may end up coming out. There's N, shuffle hand in the deck, draw a card for each of the remaining prizes. I am getting a Cynthia, which I shuffle my hand in and draw 6 cards. It'll probably replace one of my capacious buckets, which I'm currently running 3 of. We'll get to those a little bit later. Actually, very soon. Running 2 float stones for retreating, and 2 memory capsule to help back up the stadium. It lets the equipped or attached Pokemon use attacks from its previous evolution. Currently running 3 capacious buckets. Like I said, it's probably going to go down to 2 because I've got plenty of ways to draw cards and look for water energies. Running 4 Dive Ball to grab a water Pokemon, because those are the only ones that really matter. Yeah, Arceus is good. Yeah, Eevee and Snorlax is good, but... excuse me. Anyway. Running an Ordinary Rod for a little bit of recursion. It's one of the things I've noticed in goldfishing and playtesting, that there are a lot of cards that go to the discard pile that I want to get back, so I'm trying to figure out the best ways to do that. 2 Switch. And the 4 Seekers. So that, kind of helps me double up on my actual supporters. This is one of the areas I'm a little bit confused. I'm pretty sure OG double colorless energy is legal in Expanded. I do know that people are running things like double turbo energy or whatever it is, so I'm a little bit confused about that. But, I have 2 of the double turbo whatever in case I need to replace them. I'm running 2 memory energy. It's the same thing as memory capsule. If it's attached, then the Pokemon can use its previous evolution's attacks. I'm running 1 wash energy. It prevents effects of attacks except for damage on the equipped or attached water Pokemon. And the last are just 8 water energies. I've often felt like the deck runs out of energy too quickly, so I don't know if I should be putting in more or less. This deck really needs a lot of testing, but and I've only played 2 games with it, 2 actual games, and it was against a Gym Leader Challenge deck. I got brutally killed the first time, and then I brutally killed the second time by doing like 400 damage per attack with Gyarados VMAX. So, but yeah, that's my deck. Hopefully we'll get a nice walking wake soon, and hopefully it'll be able to fit into this deck rather than needing its own. I imagine it will. It's a water Pokemon, unless they make it a dragon Pokemon or a hybrid. But yeah, that is my Pokemon deck. And again, it's for Expanded, because I refuse to play a rotating format. I've heard that Expanded technically can rotate, but it never has. Let me know what you think. If there are any cards in here that I'm playing that are not legal and expanded, if there's something I can do that's better, please let me know. I don't really know what I'm doing.